we're getting into Astroworld by Travis Scott.
Yes.
So we're doing that. So it was on the list. I'm gonna give a little background. So I don't know. It's one of like the new. I've been looking for like newer artists that I kind of want to get into.
That you may have skipped over or just never got around.
Kind of get a fine tooth comb through them. And so when, I guess another background story, so I actually, Niall's my little brother biologically, I actually just met him for the first time 2 years ago. So when I was hanging out with him and Gabriella, Kyron, I guess you could say Beatrice wasn't really there. But I remember you guys were talking about Travis Scott a little bit. And so like the only track I could think of was Sicko Mode. So I brought that up. And I was like, yo, like, I don't know about Sicko Mode. Like the first 30 seconds is a dope beat, and then it just drops you off on this all right beat. And then it ends on this like what beat. And I remember Kyron was just like, yo, it's a roller coaster. That's what it's supposed to do. And I was like,
You're on a Sicko Mode roller coaster.
This is kind of thing. But then when I saw the album and it looks like an amusement park, I was like, okay, all right, Kyron. But that's kind of like I guess with me going in, I was kind of looking at like what this roller coaster of a thing would be. Right. So the thing that I think about is Kendrick Lamar and how in Damn he had a lot of beat changes in the end and stuff. So I haven't heard any other artists do it quite like Travis Scott. So I was like, okay, it is kind of like
So, Nilo, what's your introduction to Travis Scott? Like, when did you first get into him? Or when did you even first hear about him?
Man, I think it was about 2015.
Yeah, when he first started coming out.
Yeah, and cause like it's from hearing it from other people. They're like, oh, this, rodeo and stuff like that. But it's like I was never into his music. I never even listened to it. I was more of like, at that point, I was like a Drake fan, like Lil Wayne and stuff like that, and I still like them. But I've never listened to Travis. And the time where the first time I heard him was when it was, what was the album that Drake dropped? It was
Scorpion?
No, it was If You're Reading This It's Too Late. And he had a song with Travis on it called Company. And when I heard that, I'm like, okay, like I really like this. Yeah. And then ever since then, I've been like almost obsessed.
Yeah. So like, all right, this is my artist.
Yeah.
That's dope. Yeah, I'm kind of similar to Brandon, where like I always heard his name, heard him around, but I never listened to any of his projects. I'm sure I've heard him on features or whatever. And yeah, anytime I looked at like hip hop, websites or on Twitter or whatever, Travis Scott gets mentioned a lot. And I think for me, I knew he would be a different style because I knew he did a lot of auto-tune.
Yeah.
And that always kind of turned me off from like really like giving him a full listen and just wasn't my style of music that I usually listen to.
That's like a lot of people, sorry.
Yeah, so I just never had the motivation or like never was curious to check him out. I was just like, oh, that's Travis Scott, that's like the new style or whatever. That's just not my jam.
I kind of saw him as like at the forefront of what this new
like
style
the trap
was.
style.
And so like with this, I was like, I'm interested to see what that's all about now that there's, I'm not going to me, it was looking like the face. It probably wasn't the actual face, but I was like, okay, like his name is popping up quite a bit. I'm kind of interested to see what it's all about. So.
Probably the only song that I've listened to quite a bit that he's on is the song he's on SZA's album.
Love Galore?
Yeah. I like that. I love that song, but then like, I just never really got into his verse. I was like, oh man, I wish it was just SZA on this. Yeah. But he comes in and I'm like, it's not really my style. But after listening to this album, I definitely got an appreciation for the type of music that he makes. When he's doing his own sound, it makes sense.
Yeah.
It works. And from what I've like kind of gathered and learned about it is he does a lot of the production, maybe not in terms of the beat making, but he definitely has a hand in the type of music that he's making. He's part of it. He doesn't just give me that beat, give me that beat. Like he's part of the production of the album.
I think another part. Oh my bad. think another part that makes him interesting, his name is funny, Jacques Bourbon Webster II. So born April 30th, 1991. So he's closer to us in age than he is you.
Yeah.
But it's funny how his music is closer to yours than it is ours.
Yep.
And so, I don't know, I found that pretty interesting.